What's good? This video is premiering first to my Patreons. They get the first hit of this video. So I don't know when you guys will see it on your station or on the Casino for Life channel. Your station. Uh, on the Casino for Life channel. But it's definitely going to air first on the Patreon. This video was recorded. What's today's date? March 10th. Bet. March 10th. The All-Star game had just passed. I'm going to wait a couple of days before I post this. Probably post it next weekend, the weekend coming up. They set it up too for LeBron. LeBron only has to play 2 games in 2 weeks. I think the Lakers play on Friday night. I'm betting on Indiana. And then they play Monday. They get another 2 days rest. So they're played, I think they play in Golden State too, who have to play, they're going to play Luka on Saturday. I might watch that game with Gavin because he's into the games now. So I might go watch that with him. But that is the excitement that is coming up. But I want to forget all that with the games and all that. Let's get outside of that. People know I have a dislike for LeBron James' basketball game. From a level of playing basketball, I don't think his game is great or even good. I don't think he's aesthetically pleasing to watch as a basketball player. Yet he's force-fed down our throats. Now, let's get to the other problem at hand. Let's get to the other side. Because I used to always say, it's nothing personal. I just don't like the way he plays. Now, I don't think I like anything about him. Like they say, somebody's a scumbag at their job is probably a scumbag at home. It's just how it is. It isn't like, oh, he's a nice person once he's at home. No, he's a scumbag in his job. He's probably a scumbag in real life, in every walk of life. Not saying LeBron is a scumbag. I'm just saying in general. Now, you might say, well, why you don't like him off the court? Well, it's been some of the things that he's done that I feel that's been counterproductive to the league. It's ruined the NBA. To now, all the other teams are going to follow suit and do the same thing. And now you have this, all the teams are mates and all these guys are all running to join the same team. Nobody really wants fair competition anymore. They want to completely dominate from not just having a big 3. They want a big 5, 6, 7, and 8. They want everybody on there. And they are willing to break all kind of contract rules, having owners buy out players just so another team could win it. It's like it doesn't help the owners at all. So you play with fire, eventually you're going to get burned. And LeBron is the head of all of this. So that's one of the main reasons I don't like him. It's his control that he has outside on his imprint on the game as far as controlling other people's lives just so he can win. I just think that's disgusting. Because to me, that's not winning at all. And that's why the veterans don't respect him. But it goes deeper than that. I used to always give LeBron credit for all his philanthropy work. LeBron James has been one of the ideal athletes as far as his charitable foundations. He had the Children's Defense Fund. I remember he had that. He donated to that, rather, because that fund's been out before I was even born. And that's a non-profit organization that make sure that kids are treated equally and fairly. So, that's just a natural one. You would go into the Children's Defense Fund, put some money in there. But the ones that normally stand out, he has his school, but before the I Promise school, he had the 1X1. That's the mission that includes taking care of the kids, but they have the education, water, and health, and hunger, or something like that. And then they's like, "Oh, you could play." So it's another program like the after school all stars that he had also, that's like help children in need, encourage them to have pride, and give them some programs where there's healthy breakfasts in schools, medical help, all of these things that were set up, right? Because he remembered his humble beginnings and where he came from. He donated money to the Boys and Girls Club of America. So LeBron was his philanthropy work. He was face on with it. He went to St. Vincent's and Akron. They called him King James. He was the star at St. Vincent. He was the guy, right? Now, my thing is this. I just saw something recently, a special about Mav Carter, LeBron, and Rich Paul. And they're boasting and bragging about approaching $1 billion. Like we're billionaires. Like we're $1 billion industry, $1 billion made. And they're boasting and bragging about the contracts they've gotten, had like one of the largest groups, as far as contracts go in the league, and all this money they generating, and all of them live in California. And all of these guys are supposed to be from Akron or Cleveland and that area, and I know LeBron's from Akron. So I said, well, let me look into this because I need to know exactly what I'm talking about before I make a video. And what I found out was pretty astonishing. All it took was a phone call. Just all it took was one phone call. That phone call went to someone who was in Defiance, Ohio, who knew some people who knew Rich Paul, Mav Carter, LeBron James, knew all of them, was older than them. They were little kids and was from Akron. All it took was one phone call to my cousin that's in Defiance. And they knew somebody from Akron. Easy. And I spoke to that person, and they laid out some things that I'm going to share with you all today. Okay? So get ready, because here it comes. Now, when LeBron was in Cleveland and he left after the decision, the city was like, felt like he betrayed them. Like he was they champion, and they kept him strong while he was playing and starting his career out. They made sure he was safe, he was comfortable. Anywhere he moved, he really didn't even need security that much. The city was holding him down. And when he left, it was like he crushed the spirit of the city. The way he did it. It was just so bogus that even the people that he hung out with and his family here was like, some of them didn't even know about it at all. He was like, he ain't tell nobody this. He was telling us he was looking forward to next season and all this stuff, like here in the land. So when he left, it just really hurt them. So they didn't really want to deal with him. So when he came back to the city, and he knew he was gonna get booed and all this stuff. But when he came back, he was like, before I end my career, I'm gonna try to come back to the land, and try to win one before I get out of here. So they didn't know he was gonna come back as soon as he did. And when he came back in 2016, you know, because when he left, the city revenue dropped tremendously. Because he's generating all the money for Cleveland. But here's what a lot of people don't know. When you go into a situation like what Cleveland was and Akron, even when LeBron James was returning back in 2015-16, they were they were going through an economic loss of monumental proportions. While LeBron James was raising his hand up, hugging people, winning championships, his town is dying. His hometown is dying. Akron. Akron is on course to be what Detroit was, where entire neighborhoods is going to be abandoned. It's going to look like a empty war zone. So entire neighborhood's gone. See, Akron itself got so many great problems that Cleveland region don't even know about or don't even have. And if they keep leaving it unchecked the way it is, the neighborhood is going to collapse. The same thing that happened in Detroit. This was in 2016. And LeBron James is from there. He comes out and announces that I Promise School for selected smart kids. We're going to put them in there. He builds this school, and you're in Cleveland. Your hometown is Akron. Your neighborhood is dying every year. Akron has the most evictions of any city in the state of Ohio for the past 4 years. They're number one. Where's Mav Carter? Where's Rich Paul? Where's LeBron James? How you gonna brag you a billionaire and your hometown is dying? Now you gonna say, I know you're gonna say, hey, that's the city's, the politician in the city. Where you at in the city hall? Where you at in City Hall saying, hey, what's going on with my city, man? Why are we losing? See, my thing is, it's plain and simple. You never see a billionaire try to sell you something, and he's not in a big luxury car. He's not somewhere where his clothes are clean, his hair is combed, he got on some expensive glasses maybe. He shows you his accomplishments. He shows you success. He shows you winning. So that you can program in your mind, like, this guy must know what he's talking about before he even speak. Now, if he came in just regular, jumping out of a Hyundai, and he's telling you how you could be a billionaire, you're going to be a little confused. Akron's problem was, let's build a new modern place, and that's just going to fix the problem. That doesn't help. You see, when you have an economic decline in the city, that's gonna, and virtually no gentrification or growth, then your town and neighborhood is going to collapse. Now, listen, 58,000 people were evicted from their homes in 1 year in Akron. I mean, Ohio. I'm sorry. In the whole country, Akron is 24th in the whole nation. Akron is the highest eviction rate in the whole state, period. 20% of Akron's population lives in poverty, and 7 families are evicted every day. Now, people have tried to put together programs and all these things to try to save people's homes, keep people in their houses, but Akron is a city that is dying out, and LeBron James is from Akron. And and Mav and Rich can sit there and brag and boast on how y'all got $1 billion business. But when your hometown is dying out the way it is, and y'all keep talking about, oh, I got this charity, that charity, this. What is your charity doing if your people are dying? These are the first people that supported you and held you down. The city of Akron. Where you from? Your hood. And it's dying. And you LeBron, there's no way I could be LeBron James and I have 600, $700 million in my street where I was born on or raised on, and all the people over there like starving. They ain't got no jobs, nothing. You ain't brought a restaurant up in there. You ain't brought some type of economic way of money coming through. You ain't going back to the hood to do a charity game or something to raise money to help pay some rent for them people over there. How could you sleep at night? But yet y'all keep raving about this dude, buying his gear, all this goofiness, going to see his goofy movie with Tweety Bird, and y'all allowing this to happen. Why don't ESPN talk about that? They're never gonna tell you about that. So if you in the city of Akron right now, hit me up, because when we come on the stream, y'all, I want y'all to talk about it. I want y'all to voice y'all opinion. I want the people from the city of Akron to call in, and you can talk live. I want to hear it from the people that's inside the city. I want to hear them spit it. Now, I know they have people that's the council, legal aid, and all these people over in the city of Akron, but if you LeBron James, you air them out. You put their feet to the fire and be like, what's the problem? What's going on with the funds? What's going on with the people over there in Akron? And going through a pandemic, what they doing? What are y'all doing? The city helping out the people of Akron. Our people. Where's a Blaze Pizza in Akron? I mean, I heard all this other, this PC talk they do about LeBron and these charities and all this garbage. We already know the con job with the school. We already know what that's about. I'm saying, what about the hood? So you see why I have disdain for him. Now everybody got mad at Michael Jordan, saying Michael Jordan didn't help out the city of Chicago. Jordan didn't help out the hood. Jordan didn't do this and that. Jordan ain't from Chicago. Jordan was not born and raised in the city of Chicago, even though this was like the place he made his bones. Jordan has donated and done a lot more than what people actually know. He just don't go out and try to be a philanthropist with his mouth like everybody else. He had the Michael Jordan Foundation that his mother ran, but did that money really trickle down to the ghettos and the communities of Chicago? Absolutely not. It did not. They selected certain people from the hood and the ghetto, but back then it was a whole different ball game. These type of things that exist today, those type of opportunities weren't even available at that time. You had to get sponsors involved, which Michael did. He got McDonald's to donate a lot of stuff like book bags, school supplies to kids in the urban cities and things of that nature through his charity foundations. He was doing it every year. But there was other things like, I understand this is why Craig Hodges, who's, from here, he was all vested into the inner city and doing things. And he was like, man, come to my charity foundation. He was going to donate some money to it and do it that way. But he was like, it do them good to see you. They want to see Michael Jordan, come to the hood. And Michael used to do that. He used to come to the hood, come to the courts and stuff back in those early 80 days. He'll be filming a commercial or something. He'd come out there, or he'll go to the school, talk to the schools in the inner city. Mike used to do that. Then it stopped. Like after 88, that was over. That now he became his time was selected. He was married now, got kids. So he was spending time, whatever little time he had, with his family. So he couldn't do that no more. But he was never that player anyway who was doing the outspoken, you know, charity thing. His thing was, I'm trying to be the best basketball player I can be. My mom, she can handle that. I'm over here with it. But some people who are the talkers and they love to have their face out there, you know, you got to start to look at them. You know what I'm saying? Now, let's take it a little further than this. Because not only would I want to make this fair, I want to make this complete. Because I don't want to make it look like it's just LeBron James. You guys ask me all the time, and I always tell you guys, hey, I've tried to explain it to you in many ways. Hopefully, that this gets everybody's attention so they understand. So no one will ever ask me the question again, like, why you hate LeBron so much? Now, when people say Marcy Projects, right? When they say Marcy Projects, you think Jay-Z, right? Jay-Z. Now, people brag about having a dangerous project. They be like, man, we was one of the worst projects ever, baby. Marcy, son, what? So, Jay-Z's a billionaire, right? Him and Beyonce. But she's not from there. You see what I'm saying? Jay-Z's from there. Now, even though people fly in to go take a picture in front of the Marcy Project sign and all of those different things, the Marcy Projects, is famous for creating rappers and having, Ron Artest come in. He was from the Marcy houses, so it was like you had to have a hustle to get out of there. Whether you off, uh, was it at? It's off there on Flushing or Nostrand Ave, over there. But anyway, when you over on that side of the Marcy houses, what you're doing is you're going to history now because Jay-Z is so famous. A billionaire came from the projects. That nobody's really looking at it that way. Why? Because the people that ran with him in his early days and the people that was with him through all the success, the majority of them are right back in Marcy Projects. And he's excelled, but they have not. And it's kind of weird that some of his family members, like immediate family members, have very common jobs. Like his sister, her husband, you know, they have very common jobs. They're not like, like living in a luxurious house and, they like we straight and all that. Like the nephews and stuff like that, Jay has made sure he's taking care of that. But I'm like, as far as giving back to the community, Marcy is what built them. The Marcy Projects is what gave Jay his name. The Marcy houses is what gave him his credibility because he came from Marcy. He's tough. Yo, Marcy's rough. He put Marcy on his name. He said Marcy all the time. He was bragging on, taking credit for, what this town and what the building and people in the building was doing. He was rapping about that. So naturally, you would want to be a part of doing something like that. Like rebuilding it. And wasn't Jay talking about doing that? If I'm not mistaken. Wasn't he talking about that? Jay took from Marcy. The least he could have did was give back. And I felt he didn't give back enough, in my opinion. His thing of giving back is, I'm going to take a couple of rappers, make them into stars, and then that means I did something for Marcy. Dude, you're a billionaire, right? You brag on it. When you go over there on Flushing Ave, get off the station, Flushing Avenue Station, go all the way to Church Ave. You can get off right there in front of the Marcy houses. Right there, you see the Marcy sign, the welcome to Marcy. Right? Why can't he do something for Marcy? That's where you from. Marcy is in a worse state than it's probably ever has been. People have no jobs. They've been fighting over there for some type of help. When you do a concert for Marcy, you know what I'm saying? This is the place that made you. You can't build something over there for Marcy. You can't talk to the mayor of the city. You know, what's up? Talk to your boy Sino, man. Don't forget to hit that like button, people. Subscribe to this page. We ain't done. I'm just saying, don't forget to do that. Because when y'all just don't do that, they come up with every lie saying y'all didn't want to watch the video. All kind of, it came on at a time of day, so we couldn't send it out. So, okay. Make sure y'all subscribe. Hit that notification bell so y'all can get all of them. We gonna play the game the way they want it to be played. So we can't, when they don't send it out, we can't say, hey, don't say the people didn't like the video. They like the video. You see what I'm saying? So my thing is, they were like, why are you singling out Jay? What has Nas done to the hood? What is somebody else do? You see, that's what people do. When they know you got somebody dead to rights, they start deflecting right away. Don't take that attention off of them. Don't take the attention off. Because what Nas did was way more than what Jay has done. Nas has done way more for Queensbridge than he has done for Marcy. Hands down. But Nas don't be out here bragging like I'm a billionaire, I'm this, I'm that. Should he done more for Queensbridge? Probably, but he didn't have that love and respect of people coming out to join up with him when he was trying to do it. What they wanted was to use him and make money off him and want him to do all the work for them. He helped people that was down with him from Queensbridge get on. He came back and tried to, with his what he's doing now with his company that he got now, that he's put together. I think it was History, or I forgot the name of his company, but Nas, through his company, is doing things in Queensbridge and has been doing things for the past 3-4 years of trying to be actively around and make things happen. So when he went back and filmed the documentary on the Illmatic anniversary, he was saying then, like, I can't be over here. My brother's still over here. You know, he comes over here all the time. He love it here in the hood. My brother comes back to the hood more than I can. I have business and other plans, so I don't be here in the hood. You know, he got like 3 houses. So he's like, man, look, I can't, but whenever I can, I try to stop by, drop some love on the, and knowledge and stuff like that. But he's trying to give back to the community and do things. But these are the things that when the 90s was coming in and the money was coming in at crazy times, like around 99, 2000, like people think the big money was there, like back when DMX and all these guys, the big money really wasn't there. The big money didn't start coming in until like all the endorsements start to come. And that was built off the strength of Tupac and Biggie, but mostly Biggie. Biggie made the songs that were crossing over. When he was making One More Chance, Big Papa, these songs were crossing over to both sides. Hispanics loved it, white kids loved it, white adults loved it. So it wasn't just hardcore grimy music. You had R&B songs that were crossing over to pop. And once Biggie was pop, mostly more than Tupac was at that time. Tupac had records, but they weren't as seen as pop records. Biggie was pop. He was really had crossed that barrier with Big Papa and One More Chance and all these songs. He had Get Money. So he had the dance floors packed. He was making the music that making people want to dance in the clubs. Pac wasn't really doing that. Pac was making music for the thugs, for the dudes out in the streets. How Do You Want It was getting some play and all these other songs, but they weren't like getting told tons of spins like Big was. Big had those radio vibes. Hypnotize, all these things. So all this revenue set up the wave for Mace to come through. Mace came through with this whole wave. So when you see all that energy coming through, waves, party music, clubbing, it was cool to dance again and have fun. Sponsors are coming and they're dumping money after money after money. Pac and Big are gone, so they don't ever get to enjoy the fruits of the labor that everybody's making off their music and everything that's prior to that. I was glad that Pac's mom was able to finally get, you know, control of his music and masters so that she didn't have to worry about, you know, money financially. Like she'll be taken care of. Because that's really what the main thing is making sure your immediate family is taken care of while you out here doing everything. So even though she went through stress and hell through her entire rest of her life because people were suing and it was lawsuit after lawsuit, all the people who was his friends were suing. It was just crazy amount of lawsuits every day coming through from the time he passed, and she got control, of his publishing rights to the end, to her end. She was in lawsuits considerably, dealing with everybody trying to sue to get a piece of Tupac, of what he created, so it was crazy. Now, everybody got all this money coming in now. So here it is, all these rappers, Jay, Nas, everybody's getting big fat checks. And they don't know what to do. They really literally didn't know what to do. And for most of those deals, Nas was saying, nah, I ain't doing that. They saying no. So when they saying no to the money, you know who's saying yeah to it? All these other rappers. All these other rappers in the game who were coming up, they were saying, oh yeah, I'll take it. I'll do that. Straight up. So Jay was taking the money, all the endorsement money. He was the endorsements guy's dream. He wasn't the guy that was going to have to worry about messing up the money. So no matter who was the endorsement guy, movie soundtracks or whatever, Jay was getting money. Now, with that being said, you're in a whole different bracket now. You're in a whole different tax bracket. But they had nobody before them who had ever gotten really that big. Everybody who got that big quick and got a lot of money just out of the blue, they blew it. Hillel blew his money twice. Hillel got his money, went broke, got it again, went broke. Now he came back and got it again. But he got smarter the third time around because he's like, look, I can't keep doing this. Now, I tell people all the time, man, it's what you see on TV with the lights and cameras and the glitz and the glory. People got to understand that at the end of the day, they're human beings. Not everybody's perfect. And it's not fair for everybody who's black to carry the burden. Like, it's their job to take care of the neighborhood if they become successful. I'm not saying that. I'm saying this. As a person who came from the conditions we come from, to not want to reach back and help out to say, hey, okay, well, let me see if I'm in a position to do something to help. Let me see if there's something I can do to help. Because everybody needs that hand. It's not everybody's out there trying to use everybody. Some people need help. And all they need is an opportunity. They looking for that. They out there grinding with the hope that something's going to happen for them. And when you come from, like, they come from hopelessness. Like, you've been in a hopeless situation, and now you're coming into $1 billion situation. You're changing the dynamic that the people that's coming up around you hopefully can thrive from. But where's the wealth? You have individual wealth. That's cool. But it's not generational wealth. That's going to go throughout time. Those artworks and paintings you got, and that's good. But if that fall into the hands of someone else, and they don't follow the same codes of conditioning, and they don't have the training mentally to keep up with what's going on, what is it really? I've seen a lot of black family members who worked their life off to get a home, a house, and then once they get a home and everything and a big house for mom and all this, and the mom turns the house over to the kids, and the kids will lose it or sell the house within 2 years. All that history gone, everything gone out of the house, and now it's everybody else's fault. And it becomes a nightmare, right? So I've seen a lot of different takes as far as how they want to go about doing things to make neighborhoods better and all these different things. It costs you nothing to talk to the city to say, where's the problem, where we can't get the funds. Put the city on blast. Call the alderman. Get involved. Because naturally, the reason why things don't get done is because the people are divided. If you and you know you're a rapper, this is your neighborhood. You control the votes. You can get the people in that neighborhood to vote somebody out real quick. So they gonna listen to you. You possess power. But I'm like, LeBron and Jay-Z are talking this $1 billion talk. Y'all talking to Billy, and y'all acting like philanthropists and all of these different things. You, Rich Paul, and Mav. I'm like, do something about it. Get involved. You guys are billionaires now. Get involved. Because you claim you are. LeBron think he Dr. Martin Luther King. Do something. Do something. If I had $1 billion, there's no way my hood would be dying like that. The hood I grew up in, those people gonna have some jobs. We're gonna find them some good jobs and we're gonna help them all out. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna be like, hey, look, I don't know your situation, but I guarantee you it's probably not gonna be better than the situation I'm gonna have for you. I'm gonna sit down with the city, sit down with the alderman of that ward. We're gonna talk. We're gonna come up with a plan to improve the neighborhood. If I gotta pay for a security force in the neighborhood to enforce no crime in the neighborhoods, find out how much that costs, get that done. It can be done. You see, Pac had the same type of vision. Like, man, if each rapper just get a neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? If like we just say, hey, we're gonna take care of this neighborhood. You know, like it's all of us out here, we getting all this money. You know, like it's all this money we getting. We should be able to put together some type of charity events, you know, and let the money go back to the city. Doing something just for charity and let the money go to the city. Like let it really go to the city, like to the hood, to the people that need it. Not like the alderman, like, oh, I'm going to take this and I'm going to get you a big check to the city. And nothing gets done. So I don't want to hear LeBron, Mav, Rich, or Jay-Z talk this $1 billion talk. And y'all ain't doing nothing about the hood that you grew up in. You know, you talking about you a success, but mama's still living in the hood. That don't look good. You know, I got $100 million. Well, where your mom ain't living like that. You know, that's you know, it's just, I don't understand it. If I ever got that money, the world would know it, because I would do something that is historically record breaking. There's no way I would be mega rich and the people around me and the people that's in my neighborhood are struggling. Could not happen. So they better hope I don't get no money like that. Because I have no problems with trying to better our situations for the next generations. because I'm more concerned about how they're educated. When you grow up in a non, like they don't care what happens, and you can get straight A's in that in your school in your hood. They can care. You're not gonna get into Harvard. You understand? You don't have to pay your way. They're not sending scholarships out to that school. If that was somebody special there, they would have transferred them to another school that they would consider sending out a scholarship to. Send you to Princeton or Harvard or an Ivy League school like that, especially off something scholastic. Meanwhile, just somebody can just walk right in just because of celebrity status. So you got to be leery to all of it as well. Uh huh. Uh-huh. You're going to have to understand the conditions of what makes a hood. And this is where Jay-Z and LeBron knows by now. They know what a neighborhood looks like when the crime level is low and how the area is thriving. Why is it thriving? Because it has all different type of curricular activities. You have internet cafes or study hall for kids. They have game rooms. They have skate parks. They have areas where kids can go out and be kids. They can go out and interact with each other. They can go to the mall, hang out. It's all of these different things they could do besides engaging in violence. In the inner cities, these little communities, things don't exist. They have no internet cafes, no computers, nothing. The game rooms are shut down. Everything's locked up at like 7 p.m. when the sun go down. And the only way they get to meet is on social media. And then most time they sending threats. And then when they see each other on the streets, they just go to war. And what's lost is the disconnect of actually social meetings with people. Like knowing how to talk to them. So especially when they're at school is the only time they would see each other. But like, what's going to happen in the summer? School's out. There's no social gatherings to help that, progress. There's no summer job for them. They got to go take 3 buses, a train. Jobs are 3 hours away in a whole nother town that's about 30, 40 miles away. And there's no fun getting off work at 10 at night and don't get home to 1 in the morning. Because you don't have a car to go back and forth. But this is what people had to endure when they're seeing a city go through a collapse of lack of jobs, everything. It's just, the area is so bad. It's really bad. And when you go through these areas where there's people in the community that they're fighting to try to save their neighborhoods, they're involved. They make it sound like it's just a war zone. No, there's people out on the streets trying to make things happen. They're out there. They're trying to get other people actively involved. But you need Congress. I mean, your congressman. You need your alderman. You need the mayor. You need all them people to give a shit. Now, if they're not, and you need a celebrity with you to make that happen, y'all got to get involved. LeBron should be involved in what's happening in Akron. So when we do that stream yard, I want somebody from Marcy, somebody from Akron, get on the line. Let's go. Let's get it. So on that note, now we are out. Hit the like button, subscribe to the page, hit that notification bell. Thank you, my Patreons. Y'all guys get to hear it first. I get your feedback first. So before anybody else get to hear it on YouTube, before it goes live, you guys get the first hit of it. Tell me what you think in the comment section below. hit the little heart on there on the Patreon, and then I'm out. Blessings. And if you want to support the page, the Cash App is Carcino.